Hey guys, Bobby Hughes here with Hollow Point Firearms, and back for another video on the H&R project. We're going to finish up the barrel now. If you watched the other video on the preparation for the barrel, we went ahead and took all the old bluing off and then polished the barrel up to a really nice high gloss shine. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is get right into degreasing, and we're going to do a form of cold bluing. Alright, so stick with us and we'll get started. Alright guys, so this is just a setup that I made here. Fairly simple design. It's just a 2x6 with a couple of 2x4 posts, 2x4 across the top. Got some metal coat hangers here, and then holding the barrel, I've just got some dowel rods that I've shaped down and plugged at both ends of the barrel. What this is going to do is, like I said before, I don't have a vise for barrels, but this thing works great for bluing barrels. And then these things up here are adjustable too, so if you had something shorter, you could hang it in there, or if you wanted to hang smaller pieces in there or whatever. Really simple to make, really cheap to make, but it works great to hang parts on. Anyway, I've already got our barrel laid up here that we're going to be working on, and I'm just going to go over some stuff that you guys are going to need. Bear with me on the whole lighting issue. You guys know from the other videos, a little dark down here in my shop, so I'll try to make it as bright as I can for you. But just a few things that you're going to need. We're going to be using rubbing alcohol for our degreaser. So you're going to want to have some rubbing alcohol, or whatever you choose to use for degreaser. I like rubbing alcohol. It's cheap and it works great. Pair of gloves for the bluing process. Alright, we're dealing with chemicals. Certain chemicals, you guys know I don't care about getting on my hands. Bluing's not one of them. Alright, so I always wear gloves. Be using cotton balls for the bluing. Alright, and then for the degreasing, I'm just using some cotton cleansing pads. Alright, so you need those. Some 4/0 steel wool. A couple of little containers. One's going to have water in it and one's going to have our bluing agent in it. And a heat gun or a hair dryer. Alright, I'm using a hair dryer just to show you guys that you can do it economically with a hair dryer. Like I said, this is a form of cold bluing. And what's weird about cold bluing is, if you're not familiar with it, in order to cold blue, you have to heat the metal up. Alright, so it's just kind of bass-ackwards, if you would. But anyway, normally with cold bluing, you boil the parts in water, and it heats the metal up. Then you apply your bluing solution, put it back in the hot water. In this case, we're going to hang it here. We're going to use a hair dryer, heat the metal up, and apply the bluing just like that. So I'm going to show you guys that it can be done. For bluing, I'm using it once again, Art's Belgian Bluing. Love this stuff, works great, and pretty cheap. MidwayUSA.com for that. Anyway guys, so got everything laid out here, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of my cotton swabs, and or just one of them, and I'm pretty much going to soak it in rubbing alcohol. Alright, I'm just going to let it soak up, and then I'm going to take and just completely degrease my barrel. Don't be afraid to rub this stuff in, because you want to get as much of that grease off of there as possible. If you don't get the grease off, then it leaves runs in your bluing. Alright? And the cool thing about using rubbing alcohol is it evaporates fairly quick. But you just want to make sure that you degrease everything thoroughly. Alright, so my first section should be pretty good now. So I'm just going to dip my cotton ball right in the bluing. ahead and let that soak into the metal there. You can already see a color difference here. And so after that, after seeing that, I'm probably going to do 4 sections. Took me a little while to get that heated up, but you can already see the color difference. So what we'll do is let that set into the metal as the metal cools down a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and start heating up our second section. Alright, and when we heat up our second section, we want to go ahead and hit the section that we've already done with the dryer. Alright, it's not the primary purpose to heat that back up, but we want to go ahead and heat it up again just a little bit as we're heating up this second section. And then when we start applying the coat here, we'll put a second coat on that as we go. Alright, so I will go ahead and start heating that. So I get a rag here. Alright, so your barrel's going to look a little rusty. And that's the whole point in bluing. Bluing is actually a process of rusting. It's where you make the barrel rust. Alright, so this is the point in where we're at right now with the rust. And so what I want to do now is I want to use some wet steel wool, and I want to start carding the rust off of the barrel to see what it looks like, what our bluing looks like. And if I'm not happy with it, then I will go back and blue it some more. So I'm just going to start right up here and just start carding the rust off with the steel wool. So once you get the color that you're trying to achieve and you get all your rust carded off and wiped down and all that good stuff, then what you want to do is you want to soak the thing in oil, alright? And what that does is it neutralizes the rusting process. So what I've got is I've just got a 2x6, a piece of 2x6 with some screws in it, and my barrel sets right down on top of it. And I'm just going to take this, I'm using Barricade by Birchwood Casey, and I'm just going to heavily coat this barrel with it. Make sure I get the whole thing coated, and I'm going to let that set probably overnight and just let it soak up that oil, and that's going to neutralize that bluing process. or the rusting process, I'm sorry. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for bluing your barrel. Alright, we went over the whole thing. It's been oiled now for several hours and I've got it wiped down. It's not quite as dark as I would like it, and it's going to look a lot lighter here in this bright light. But you know, you see we've got a nice even finish here, which is really good. It did what it was supposed to. Not quite as dark as I want it to be, and I may go back and add another layer, actually put another coat of bluing on there. But that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to bluing, especially cold bluing. You have to just sometimes you just have to keep adding coats until you get the color you want. Alright, like I said, I was using Art's Belgian blue, which is naturally more of a rust blue, which is got a little bit of a brown tint to it. If you're looking for a blue-black tint, then I would suggest going with something like Brownell's Oxford blue. It gives you a nice deep blue or even black finish if that's what you're looking for. And in this case, we're doing an old shotgun. I want it to look a little old, so I chose to go with the Art's Belgian blue so that it kind of matched the look of the historical shotgun. Alright, but like I said, probably going to put another coat on here, but same process as we already went over. Just keep going with that. If you get done and yours isn't the color you want it a little bit darker, same thing, throw it back on your rack and go ahead and heat it up and put another coat on it. Just be sure that after you oil it like this, like we did, biggest thing, degrease it. In this case, we sprayed some oil on there to deactivate the rust, so we're going to have to use a lot of degreasing. Make sure that it's good and degreased before I go into heating it up and throwing another coat on there. But like I say, guys, same process either way. What I'll do is if I do decide to throw another coat on here, in the end when we get it all put back together, I'll give you guys an overview of the whole shotgun together, and you'll get to see just the beauty of the dark brown Art's Belgian blue. But anyway, guys, until next time, get out there, shoot some guns, be safe, and most importantly, guys, have fun. All right, vote Ron Paul 2012. See you guys later.